Hello and welcome back to the next instalment of this little pocket rocket project. I kind of nearly got to as far as I can get with it. I'm very pleased so far with the progress, and I think putting on the leather corners has made a nice difference. So the last little bits really are, I'm going to make a set of new straps, because this strap it's just tired and it will break. Eventually it's going to crack. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the length of this strap as a reference for the new strap that I'm going to make. So because I noticed this is the right length for me, I'm going to make two of these. So what I'm going to do is take this strap off, measure it, and then cut my leather to the appropriate length, and then affix the buckles on. And because it's got pretty decent buckles on it already, I'm going to harvest these buckles so that I can use them on the new straps rather than having to get new buckles, which is a bit of a waste. So just going to take off the strap. I can put this to one side for a minute, don't need that for a bit. And then I can measure this. Now then, let's have a look what we got. Well, it's quite long. Actually, I've got a longer ruler somewhere. I'm going to go and get that because that's going to help me. Give me a sec. Okay, sometimes I surprise myself with my own silliness. So there's no need to measure this strap really, because all I've got to do is get the leather that I'm going to use and just offer it up and mark it. But because I'm a bit silly, I thought, well, I should measure it first. But I'm going to measure it up, and I've done it actually, and I found a nice bit of leather. It's a little bit shorter, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold this one in half and cut this one in half. And although it's a little bit shorter than I'd like it, I'm going to get around that by just making the bits that go into the buckles, just make that bit a bit longer, and that will just give me a little bit extra that I need. So all I'm going to do is just get this piece of leather, cut it exactly in half, and I'm going to go with this. So just going to get the middle point. Little fold, get my sharp scissors. So this is going to be my two straps. There we go. Right, so now I've got the two lengths of leather, and the next thing I'm going to do is make sure I've got the buckles. So I'm going to get my sharp craft knife, and with the buckle on the old one, I'm just simply going to cut through the leather to release that buckle. Here we go. And that buckle is in nice shape, so I'll have that one, and I'll just get the other one as well. There we go. Number two, so that's fine. So this strap now, I'm going to put it to one side. I don't really need it anymore, because I know what size I'm going to be making things. I've got two new buckles as well that I've got in my box. So I think what I might do is put one of each onto each strap, so each strap is the same. So I think that'd be quite nice. Right, now the next step then is to prepare these for attaching. I'll just show you actually. Attaching the narrow piece of leather which goes through the buckle. So what I'm going to do now is just round off each end so it makes it look nice, and then I'm going to measure and cut some of this leather which I'm going to use to put through the buckle. So to round it off, I'm just going to get my scissors again and just very carefully just make a nice rounded edge on each end. Not too much, because I don't want to lose too much width, but just enough to make it look neat. There we go. Just rounded that off. So I'll just do the same for the other ones, and I'll show you that one I've done all the rounding off. Okay, so that's all nicely done. So these are going to look nice once they're made up. So this is the bit of leather I'm going to use to go through the buckle. And so I'm just going to cut this in half because I think I need the whole of this. If I cut this in half, I'll have two. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to need 4 lots of this. So I'll just cut this out in half and I'll go and get some more and cut a second lot because I've realised I need 2 for each strap. Let me just find some more leather. Give me a tick. Okay, so now I've got 4 similar lengths of this narrower leather. So with these 4 lengths, I'm just going to one end I'm going to round off, just a kind of a gentle curve, if you like, and that's going to be the bit that fixed onto the thicker bit. And then the other end I'm going to point because that's going to be the bit that goes through the buckle. So I want that nice and sharp so that it's easy to fit. There we go. So that looks like that. So I'm going to do that to all of these so they're all ready then to be put onto the strap. Okay, so there we are. 4 nicely shaped, thinner or narrower pieces of leather ready to use for the buckle, to go into the buckles on the straps. Now, the next bit just needs a bit of careful measuring and cutting, so I'm going to just change the camera angle so then you can see exactly how to put these buckles on. Just give me a sec. Right, so I've got my strap. Now, when you're using leather like this, it's important to have a look at if it's got a good side and a bad side. Not a good side, but a kind of a better side or not so good side. So this is a slightly nicer side, so I have that on the outside. And so as this comes over my shoulder, the bit with the buckle is going to be attached there and then come back on itself like that. So the first thing I'm going to do is on my strap I'm going to mark 2 dots 4 centimeters apart, and I'm going to start where I want the rivet to go. So I'm going to put a little mark here, then I'm going to measure 4 centimeters. Yay. And I'm just going to get that nicely to be. So I've got 2 marks 4 centimeters apart, and the next thing is to make some holes. So which size am I going to go for? I'm going to go for that one, I think. So just going to get my hole punchers and I'm going to just make those holes. Make sure that I'm as close to the middle as I can possibly get. There's one there. And one there. So now I've got my 2 holes ready in there. Now the next thing is to get the bit that goes, the buckly bit, and work out which is the pointy bit which is going to go through the buckle. Now what this is going to do is going to go back on itself. It's going to attach to the strap and then come back on itself. So what you want is the best side on this side. So as you put it on, you're kind of putting it on with the worst side facing up because it's going to come back like that. So what I'm going to do now is mark on here 2 points, again 4 centimeters apart, which are going to match up the ones I've just made on there. So just trying to get this as even as I can. There we go. And then get that in the middle. Get that in the middle. Right. This is going well. So that next thing, I'm going to make the holes in this bit of leather as well. So let's see if I can do that. Again, making sure that these are centralised as possible. 1. we go, there's 2. So what's going to happen now, these are going to be riveted onto here, and then I'm going to put the buckle in there. So in the middle of this bit here now, these are 4 centimeters apart, these holes. I'm going to make a cut of 2 centimeters right in the middle, and that's going to where the buckle's going to go. So I'm going to get my ruler, and I'm going to mark off in the middle of those 2 holes a 2 centimeter line. So I'm going to just do the line all the way across, and then I'm going to join it up halfway along. So this is where you've got to just use your eyes. There we go. So what I'm going to do next is get my sharp craft knife, and obviously because it's really sharp, just be very careful. I'm now going to cut that little slot, which is 2 centimeters. Now this is quite thick leather, so just need a little bit, just to be really careful not to cut my fingers. Try not to cut more than that too, because I don't want it to be too long. Sometimes you have to go through the other side. Oopsie, crikey. There we are. So that should be fine. So that's good. And now the next step is to get your buckle. And the buckle goes on onto the strap. Like that, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed it through and just push the pin through that little slot that I've just made, and then it just goes through the other side of the little buckle. Oopsie. Like that. There we are. So now you've got that going on. Now the final step, well not the final step, but nearly the final step, is to attach this to this. And so I'm going to rivet that on. So it'll go on like that, and then that will come back through and then go through the buckle. So I'm just going to get my riveting stuff ready, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. We'll also get my earplugs out because I'm going to start smacking stuff. So just give me a sec. Okay, so I've got my rivets I've chosen, and my riveting punch and block. Ooh, magic. And so next thing is to start with the longer half of the rivet. Push that through the main strap, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to push that rivet through the hole on the buckle bit of the strap, and then you put the smaller part on the top. So kind of making the complete rivet, and then you need to put that onto the block. So it's nice and sitting on the middle. Find the punch and use the rounded, you know, the rounded end, and then just going to give that a sharp couple of taps. There we are, and that is now riveted. Very exciting, it's riveting stuff this. So next thing, put the next rivet in, so it goes through the long bit and then through the strappy bit, and then just find the other half of the rivet, push that together, put that onto the block, find the curved side of the punch, give that a hefty little tonk. That's now on. And so the only thing left to do now is to, let me earplugs out, is to make punch some holes in this end, and then that strap will then feed through here and go right through and attach. So I'm going to get my hole punch, and I'm going to give myself a nice number of holes. So I'm going to leave a little bit of a tongue on the end, and then to allow that to go through the buckle, because you want to be buckling it straight away, and then every perhaps 2 centimeters or so punch them holes. So that you've got a nice right adjustment. You can always add more holes if you need to, and then just going to test it out. What you can do then, this is going to be fixing through here, so you can, now when you first push it through, it's a bit tight because it's new leather and it's not very soft. So I'm going to push that through, and then you just locate that pin in the buckle hole, and then that bit then. It's a bit tight, this one, because it's new. And get it in. There we go. Just because it's quite stiff leather to start with, but that will be better. There we are. So that's now attached. So that's my method of making an accordion strap. So I'm going to do that 3 more times, one for this end of the strap and then for the other strap as well, and I'll end up with 2 nice fully handmade leather accordion straps, which should be plenty strong enough and plenty long enough. So when I've made all of the straps, I'll show you what they all look like, and I'll put them onto the accordion. Here we go, all done. So these are my new all leather accordion straps that I'm going to put onto my pocket rocket. So I'll just put them on and I'll show you with them in place. And what I'm also going to do is I'm just going to screw on the grill, and I'll show you this all put back together. Give me a sec. Okay, here she is. I don't know why I call it she, but there we are. So that's the grill's on, and I've got the nice new straps fitted and all looking nice. And on the back, got my little transfers I put on the pocket rocket. So that's kind of done. Here we are. I finished this little project, and so I'll just do a little tune to finish off with, and thanks for coming along on this little project. So I'm really pleased with it. I'll just see if I can play a little tune. see what I can do. Here we are, Pocket Rocket. So we are really pleased with this. So it's brought it to life, and it's just a fun little one you can just pick up and play whenever you want. Here he is, and I'm just quite pleased with my little Pocket Rocket logo on the back. And there we are. Thanks for watching.